The Faroe Islands are the most beautiful areas I have ever seen. The island group is located in the North Atlantic, about halfway between Norway and Iceland. The terrain is rugged, the climate is windy, wet, cloudy and cool. Only about 51,000 people live in the Faroe Islands, but, or because of that, they have a lively and diverse music scene with many talented artists. Every year, local musicians are honored at the Faroe Music Awards. At this event, they also invite international journalists to show them their diverse range of music. And I was one of them. It was my second time at the FMA, and this time I wanted to deepen my impressions on the local music scene. What is the sound of the Faroe Islands?
My name is Greta Svabo Bech. I'm from the Faroe Islands, but I've moved around a lot. But I've moved back to build a studio in the past 6 years. I've been living here making music. I always think, for me personally, I make a lot of dark, melancholic music, and outsiders often say that Faroese are melancholic. But I don't know if it's too much of a generalization, because I know a lot of people that write really happy music. So I'm not sure. I'm questioning this idea of a sound.
My name is Poul Arni Holm. I'm from the Faroe Islands, and I'm partly a musician and play in a folk rock band called Hammerlund. You have a very bright, very broad spectrum of music, both rock and pop and Christian music. I think we draw our inspiration from, there are strong traditions, singing traditions in the Faroe Islands, and the Faroese chain dance usually is quite an inspiration for many of us, and it has a special sound. Mainly in rock music, I think there's a Faroese sound, yeah.
My name is Jasmin and I'm 20 years old, and I play with the music group Jasmin. And we make a mixture of alternative pop mixed with soul and a little bit of the Faroese as well. I think it's in us all because we were all born here and have raised here. So I don't think we try to make it as Faroese as possible, but I think it's there, whether we like it or not. Yeah.
The melancholy in music, I think we have it, everybody has it, I think. All the artists are a little bit melancholic.
Very, very many artists have it as a kind of DNA without using it as quotating. That's more to the people from outside to hear. Often you are kind of blind or deaf in your own.
I think people are allowed to do what they want here because it's not so commercial. So in a way people are kind of free to do whatever. So maybe there's a sound, or maybe it's just actually quite varied. If you think about how few people are here, it's amazing how varied the sound is.
My name is Kristian Blak. I'm a composer and musician living in the Faroe Islands. And I've been involved in many of the development organizations of the music scene in Faroe Island. It started out in '81 as an art project without Yggdrasil as a band name, because it was simply to record a piece of music I had composed. The Faroe Islands have a vocal tradition that is unique. There were no instruments until around 1800. That is unique. You don't even have a drum. People don't really believe it, but it is kind of true. Okay. You can sing about a harp, but didn't know what it was.
The Faroe Islands can be quite dramatic. The seasons, as well as just in a day you can have like 4 seasons as well, but like the strong winds like now. I think it does affect you psychologically, and maybe as well my lyrics are quite visual, so I often use the landscapes and what I see to try and describe a feeling. Also, you can like kind of dive into yourself a lot here because there aren't always that many people around everywhere. And so, yeah, definitely I think it has an effect, being so isolated and it being so dramatic.
You can see the ocean all the time and the mountains and the weather. The weather is upon us all the time, and we are used to like force majeure because it's snowy, it's wind, everything is cancelled because of the weather. So it plays a big role, and it's dark in the winter, it's windy. I think it affects all of us, yeah.
When you live on the Faroe Islands, you just get inspired by the weather, I think. Mostly the darkness, because it's very dark in the winter time, and a lot of wind. So you sit a lot, inside, candles, and yeah, you get affected by them.
Endless days in these dark clouds.
Of course, you are very remote. We are so far away, so we don't have so many. You can play a lot, but you always have the same audience. Because there's not so many people here.
A stormy haze.
I think if you want to go bigger, there's not a lot of big around here. It's like you reach something and then you can't go further than that. And it takes work, but it isn't like you can't strive for more. And that's what I miss, and that's why we really want to go outside the Faroe Islands, because we thrive on, and getting better and bigger.
It's small, there are not that many venues, so you have to, if you want to do more with music, you have to get the opportunity to play in other places, and that is a challenge in itself,
It's been good to be able to collaborate outside of the Faroe Islands, but getting places is difficult, and making the kind of contacts here is quite difficult. Like we do live in a bubble. Like it's not, the music industry doesn't really exist so much here, so it's hard to make personal connections with people outside of the Faroe Islands. People do have a lot of freedom to do, like this whole idea that there's not that many billboards, there's not like commercials, and people don't want to be necessarily like pop stars here. You don't want to adhere to something no one's telling you, oh, you shouldn't do that because that's not popular. That's like a really positive thing about the Faroe Islands. But sometimes you are very isolated. That is like a catch-22 kind of situation. So
I have to say I don't know. I don't really know what the biggest challenge is, because I think there is a lot of good things being a musician on the Faroe Islands.
Is there anything you're missing?
No. Maybe a very good summer day. We've been waiting for 1,000 years. We're still waiting, so we're optimistic about it. But